Hello, everybody. This is your host, Clemothy Jones.
Timothy Jones.
Clemothy is a great name.
That's true.
So we're going to talk about Smallfoot,
Mm-hmm.
a very controversial movie that none of you hear about, with scores ranging from 80, 60, in like 3 per 3.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, tell me, other person. What was your opinion when we first walked in? We're like, all right, this movie looks pretty bad. I
Yeah.
figured the plot would be like, um, just a horrible thing of it's a Smallfoot. Wow, guys,
Mm-hmm.
and be bad, and just have no lessons,
Yeah.
just cringy, just
Like-
memes.
Yeah, bad jokes, somewhat okay songs and all that.
I didn't even know it's musical.
I knew it was a musical because I saw one song on like Facebook or whatever. But that's really all I knew about the movie.
So we get in there, and it starts. And it's actually going pretty good. Like
Yeah.
the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is just all right. You just see the Yetis dancing and singing,
Mm-hmm.
and I looked slow when I was like listening to it. I noticed that one thing they were saying was, "Oh, just stuff those thoughts away," and I'm like, wait a minute. Is
Wait,
this just
Did they actually say that?
yeah.
I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, they're actually saying during whenever there was those like 3 skeptics, uh, Migo, the main character,
Nico.
was like, oh yeah, just stuff those thoughts away. Just don't think about it. Don't think about why we're doing any of these things. And I didn't even like realize what any of this stuff was. Like they're just working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like it seemed like a very boring scene, like whenever you first get into it, because it's like he's just going around town saying about how happy he is to live there, and they're just doing like their daily lives.
I actually like turned towards you like, I think I said Disney, but this is actually a Sony movie.
I think so, yeah, I think it is Sony.
Yeah, it's a Sony movie if I'm not wrong. But I was like, Disney's teaching kids to not think at all. And, yeah, just... Oh, yeah, spoiler warnings, but, who
Oh,
cares?
Yeah, spoiler warnings.
But, so we're watching it, and later, Migo starts walking around. Oh, yeah, so he's the son of the gong ringer.
Yes.
Basically, you hit the gong, and the sun comes up.
Or in this case, a glowing snail.
Yeah, the glowing... I actually really like that.
I did too.
Yeah.
I thought that was like pretty neat that they had their own lore.
Yeah, they have their own lore of the world was holed up by these mammoths, which was really cool.
Yeah.
That were, they were on these mammoths. Oh shoot.
Careful. You giant.
And there was the sun is a snail, which I've never heard of. Normally, people think of the sun as just, whenever they do like fancy stuff, it's just an egg.
Yeah.
If they ever do anything with the sun, it's just an egg. So this time it's like a snail. I was like, that's actually pretty cool.
I agree. Especially because the snails, like the glowing snails, are actually creatures in their world.
Yeah, I actually see later there's snails that glow, which was whoever made that deserves a raise.
I agree.
Because that's something I never thought of as snails. Because normally they're just boring.
Yeah, they're boring, they're not given a whole lot of use, but in this case, like, they glow, they're actually given a use in the movie, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's like, wow, snails are actually used in this religious and kind of this holy light.
Yeah.
So, mute. So yeah. So he's doing some practice, and he misses the gong. And we go, land somewhere in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And walks around, plane crashes, And then he meets this pilot. And I thought that was actually going to be, like, the human
Yeah, like the
protagonist.
main character. I thought so too.
Turns out, no.
No.
He was like, oh my goodness, it's Smallfoot. It's this small being. I noticed one of the weird things was they made the dimensions a little weird because it would change.
It would.
Like, one time it's like a huge plane. Other times it's like if an adult was going to get into a little one of those cars kids would drive.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. It was kind of like, a big, decent sized plane, and then some frames it was kind of like the clown car equivalent of a plane.
Why was there even a car in the Himalayas?
I don't know.
It's, as far as I know, planes don't go up there.
As far as I know too, but I mean, maybe they do? I don't know.
So yeah. And the guy freaks out and parachutes away. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
As you do.
Yeah, we're as you. So we're then introduced to, he goes up there and he's like, guys, I saw a Smallfoot. And people are like, whoa, Smallfoot, that's insane.
Yeah.
Get it? Smallfoots, because they're Bigfoots.
Yeah. As if you didn't realize.
If you didn't realize, they're Bigfoots. And then there's this character, Stonekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And, which was actually, I really loved the character.
He was really cool.
He had a really cool aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked just, I just love, like, the stone dress.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because, like, he had an outfit, because he was the Stonekeeper, basically what their lore is that, like, everything, like, all the rules of their society and, like, the lore and all that is all written in stones. And, like, the Stonekeeper's in charge of, like, all those stones. So the Stonekeeper goes around wearing this, like, big robe or dress made of, like, all those stones and everything, which is so cool.
And that's something I never thought of, because normally whenever you have this religious thing, it's just like, oh, he wrote it in a book.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's painted on stones that you wear. And he would take out the stones and, like, show. And it was really cool, because it made their culture feel tangible.
I agree.
It felt realistic, because instead of it's a book, or this is how you do things, it's like, no, it's actually written down, it's carried, it's important to their society, these stones.
Exactly. It holds, like, a lot of importance in their world and, like, in their culture and all that.
Yeah. And he kind of, like, it was very intimidating. It was just amazing. So, Migo's banished because he feels like, no, it was a Smallfoot. And the Stonekeeper's like, okay, you're banished until you say there isn't.
Yeah.
Which was, like, weird to me, because, like, okay then, like, why was he, like, I understood, like, why was he banished, but, like, what is the Stonekeeper doing?
Yeah, because he had, like, basically banished Migo because the stones say that Smallfoots do not exist.
And if he's contradicting the stones, he's
contradicting their way of life, which they can't have.
Yeah, so Migo's banished.
Yeah.
And then when we meet Percy, basically Steve Irwin if he was obsessed with fame.
Yeah, basically. Oh no, I'm remembering that song.
Yeah. Yeah, the song. Okay, so basically, Percy's down on his luck. He's not getting the views, no one cares about animals.
Yeah.
So he basically is trying to lie through ways. He's like, hey, people believe in Yetis, let's just get this Yeti outfit, which for some reason looks like Migo.
Yeah, that's one thing I found weird is that, like, they got a Yeti costume that just happens to look like Migo.
Just like Migo, just like, has someone spotted Migo before? It's a weird plot.
That was, like, a weird little detail. Yeah. But, I mean, it's whatever.
I'm willing to look over it.
Yeah, same here.
I'm willing to ignore it.
Because there's so many small details like that you can just ignore.
Yeah. But his assistant Brenda is like, no, we shouldn't do this. And then comes the song.
Oh, the song.
The song, like, I don't like Under Pressure. It's a parody of Under Pressure, right?
Yeah, it is.
The song already sucks.
Yeah, I don't like Under Pressure in general.
So if you're gonna do a parody of a sucky song, you have to do really good.
This one did not.
No. I was cringing.
I was too. I was just wanting the scene to be over so quick.
I turned towards you, I think, and like, I hate this movie already.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was gonna suck after that.
Yeah, we both looked at each other like, did we make the right choice coming here?
I mean, because from everything I heard, this movie sucked. It has like scores of like 60 when you look at it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is just gonna be a bad movie. Probably not even so bad it's good. But hey,
Yeah.
it's fun to make fun of things. That happens.
We wish it didn't.
No. It's kind of going a little run through a lot of stuff. Basically, Migo meets skeptics.
Yeah.
Turns out one of the skeptics is Stonekeeper's daughter.
Mhm. Michi.
Michi. What's a cool name?
Yeah, I like that
I like
name
the
a
names,
lot.
like, I can't remember some of the other ones' names.
Yeah.
Like the curly hair yeti.
Oh, I don't know. I basically only knew like Stonekeeper's name, Michi, and Migo and Percy, and that was it.
Yeah. And I remember Brenda too.
Brenda, yeah. Because Percy said that so much.
Brenda.
During the Under Pressure song that it just kind of like was ingrained in my head.
That song sucks.
That song was so bad.
I'm not a big fan of musicals.
No.
And truth is, I had a hard time understanding most of the musicals. Mostly because I'm not trained to like hear it well. Like, whenever I listen to music, I tend to go for the music video so I understand what the lyrics say.
I see.
Because it's just hard for me. But yeah, rundown basically. Turns out they believe in Smallfoots, and I kept making jokes like, even though it's not Disney, I didn't know that. I thought it was. I was like, man, the creators of this movie just trying to make our children into atheists.
Yeah.
Trying to make them get rid of Christianity.
Yeah.
Turns out I was right that people thought that.
Yeah, which is weird. Like, we were just joking around that it was just like a stab at like Christianity and all that, but people actually believe that. That's what the movie's about, which blows my mind.
It's amazing. So, basically, for the rest of the plot, he is kind of dropped off the mountain to gain evidence of the Smallfoots.
Mm-hmm.
Does that, he gets Percy, who was trying to get Brenda into the costume. She left with a weird, like, so yeah, run through things because it'd take a long time to explain.
Yeah.
Gets Percy, and it's like, what time to bring him up? And it's like, okay, it's just time to kidnap a person.
Yeah, that's what, like, made me laugh a little bit, was that he's just like, oh, a Smallfoot, better bring it back. Who cares if he has, like, family or friends and all that?
Doesn't look across that they're, like, literally a few miles away from his entire Smallfoot city. He's like, oh, just gonna take one.
Yep. No, just take one and that'll prove everything.
Yeah. Gets, brings back society and it's, people are like, wow, it's a Smallfoot. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And Stonekeeper is like, no, I can't have this.
Yeah. So instead of like disproving that like no Smallfoots like exist, he's just like, well, how do we know it's a Smallfoot? It could be a different type of yak or something.
Yeah, a yak that stands on 2 feet. So it's kind of like, what is he doing? So eventually he gets Migo. I was like, alright, I'm going to show you the facts.
Yeah.
Which, actually at this point, eventually got better after the under pressure scene.
Oh yeah, like by this point we actually did like this movie.
Yeah, by this point I'm like, okay, I can give this movie like a 70 out of 100.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's doing good. But then this scene's when I was like, oh wow, amazing.
Yeah, this scene changed everything for me, like, because it's this whole big reveal about like all the questions that you have are answered, and it's done in such an amazing, powerful way.
So basically, Stonekeeper brings Migo to the actual, like, their temple, their sanctuary, and he walks up to this wall that has all, like, this artwork done.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually see these snails start glowing. It's like, That's why they believe the sun's a snail.
Yeah.
Those little tiny details make sense.
Yes.
And then the music kind of starts, and like goosebumps all over.
Oh, totally.
And that's when you start learning everything.
Yeah. Like all those small details that you kind of glossed over before, they become important now.
Yeah. So while Percy is showing the Smallfoots of like his culture, because like, whoa, these are things. I'm gonna go and show them stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He goes with the Stonekeeper and learns that the reason they live on this mountain is because humans killed them.
Yeah, and tried to like attack them and all that.
And like, by the way, this is all done in this like rap song.
Oh yeah, and the rap song is also extremely good.
It's not necessarily like rap, like, but it's more like spoken word.
Yeah, it is.
But every line is just like, wow, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like on the edge of my seat because I'm like, I was actually surprised by this.
Yeah.
Turns out, and the reason they live on the mountain is like, humans are dangerous. They created this culture, this religion, to kind of keep away from them. And then there's more. The doors open, and it's revealed that pretty much all the jobs people do. Like in the beginning, you saw these people make like balls of ice for some reason.
Yeah, and like these kind of lifts that like carried the ice to different places and everything. Like it was all this very weird, seemingly useless kind of work that they were doing.
I think the reason they were dropping ice was for them, like they believe they were giving ice to the mammoths so they can drink water or something.
Yeah, something like that. So that way they don't get thirsty.
Yeah. Turns out, no, it's to create steam to block the view from the humans.
Yeah, which they see as like, which is Smallfoots and the Bigfoots or like the Yetis see as clouds.
Yeah.
But it's not clouds, it's steam.
Yeah. In that scene, I'm like freaking out over. Like this is the first time in a movie that I have like for years I've actually just freaked out. Like, oh my goodness, what? That's awesome.
I agree. Like the whole reveal was so powerful. And again, the small details really matter because all those seemingly useless tasks were created and like were done to create this whole illusionary experience for both like the Yetis to like believe that this lie that they were told, and so that way like Smallfoots or like people don't go looking for them.
So you find out that the Stonekeeper's villain, he knows Smallfoot exists, but basically it isn't that he's evil, he's trying to protect him. That's so fun that the villain's not evil. He is good. He's trying to protect his society because humans would kill them with what they called sticks of thunder. If you pay attention, they actually had like thunders in their hand, like lightning bolts.
Yeah.
It's like that's way cooler than guns. Like no thunder.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So, and I have a theory which I'll get into after this kind of like basically plot summary. Stuff's going on. Migo's like, alright, well, you know what? Humans don't exist because I need to save my society.
Yeah.
We need to keep everyone here safe.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, another note for that is whenever Migo first meets Percy, Percy immediately goes into defense mode and tries to attack Migo. And in, like, the whole reveal scene, Migo's just like, not all humans are like that. It's like, and the Stonekeeper's like, oh, are they? Did your, like, human act friendly to you when you first met him? And it flashbacks to those scenes that tie into, like, the drawings on the wall that showed the same thing.
He basically sees, like, oh, no, he wasn't bad, but then he's like, wait a minute, he had a gun to my head.
Yeah, like, he tried to do the same thing that the Stonekeeper's talking about.
So he actually has a reason to do that. This human poses a threat, and it's time to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens, and a lot of things are going on. And this is actually, I think we forgot to mention this. Migo was gone during some time when he was banished, well, obviously.
Yeah.
But someone still needed to ring the gong to bring back the snail.
Oh, yeah, this part.
So the father normally would need help with someone, but didn't.
Yeah.
So he had to do all this stuff alone, which makes the job harder. And he launches, and he misses the gong.
Yes. But before he can recollect himself and like hit the gong, the sun still rises.
Yeah, and he's like, wait a minute. Hold on. If I didn't hit the gong, why is the sun still coming up?
Yeah, because in his mind he thinks like the sun will only come up or this glowing snail will only wake up if he rings the gong to wake it up. But that didn't happen whenever he missed.
Yeah. So he realizes, hold on. My job's a lie.
Yeah. Which is a pretty big and sad realization for someone who's done this all their life.
They realize that, hold on, my life's a lie.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And one thing I liked was the father's not an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I see a lot of movies where the father just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's just kind of this bumbling idiot that's just there.
They're a bumbling idiot, or a character's trying to get their father to love them.
Yeah. Which is always just paints fathers in a bad light.
Yeah, it does. But this time paints father, like, as a real character that has their own personality, that thinks,
Yeah.
that isn't static. He's like, wait a minute. Why is the sun rising up? I didn't hit the gong.
Exactly.
So, back to what I was saying, to the plot. So Migo decides, I need to get rid of this human. And actually, one of the beautiful scenes was Migo and Stonekeeper each come out to talk about the human, and the Stonekeeper, like, everything's in the shade of red.
Oh yeah, that scene was so pretty.
Yeah, the cinematography of this film is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's painted this red, and it's kind of like, oh, he's kind of evil. It's like, it's not a yak, it's not a human, it's this weird yak thing.
Yeah. And of course, the people, like, the village just, like, so easily is like, oh yeah, of course.
But the conspiracy troop, Michi and the other three are like, what are you doing, Migo? Like, why? It's like, oh, don't believe them. They're just crazy.
Yeah, which is the worst insult that they could have, like, had.
Yeah,
because all their life they've been told they're crazy. And finally, they're not crazy. But then their friend, who they thought they could trust and everything, says, like, they're just insane. Don't believe them.
Yeah. And Michi, actually, around this time, Percy is way high up. He's back to Percy. When he's talking about his life to them, one thing is, they don't understand each other.
Yeah, they don't. They cannot speak each other's languages.
Which is amazing, which should be done, because it actually shows, like, different perspectives. Like, whenever it's the human talking, they're just squeaking.
Yeah.
And whenever it's the Yetis talking, from the human's perspective, it just growls and, like, roars.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Like, why would they speak the same language? They don't even have the same vocal cords.
Exactly. And a lot of movies don't do that, which I was so glad why this movie did that, because just like, well, obviously they wouldn't speak the same language, they're two different species.
Yeah. And so they actually had a language barrier, which one things to get through this was drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Percy is drawing things to Michi, like his kind of history, his home. He even draws like that square house triangle, which actually plays an important role in later in the film.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts realizing, hold on, the reason I got into this business was because I loved animals. And I'm wrong for wanting to lie in order to become famous.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also kind of losing oxygen very high up here.
Yeah, because it's such high elevation.
Yeah, that he passes out. And Michi realizes this and has to bring him back down to save him.
Yes.
So she heads down to the human civilization to save them. To get like hey Mason, find them, and finds like the entire like human city is like this Chinatown kind of thing, and puts them down next to this neon sign that is that house. Which is like very important. Like she recognized that meant shelter. That played important.
Yeah.
So Migo just is depressed and he's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Mhm.
And he's like, you know what? Back to just hitting the gong with my head.
Yeah.
And so, well, he sits down. It's like, alright, I'm gonna hit the gong again. His father's come going through like, alright, you wanna keep your head straight, do this, do this.
Yeah.
And when he's moving, he moves past the gong, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And he points towards the temple, and it's like, the father realizes like he knows it's a human,
Yeah.
that this isn't, that he needs to do the right thing.
Exactly. He doesn't just like continue to accept like his life. He's just like, no, son, you're right to do what you do, and I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, you need to set things right. So he goes there, hits temple, finds out Michi left, and heads down to human civilization. And of course, one thing that's noticed is when Percy was kidnapped, he sent a video to Brenda when he thought he was gonna die first,
Oh yeah.
and became like instantly famous.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's the Yeti fighting a giant bear. The bear can talk now.
Yeah.
That was a weird thing. The Alex can't talk, but a bear can. Okay then.
Yeah. But just gloss over that
Yeah.
because that was a goofy scene.
Yeah. It was a cute scene.
It was. It was
The mother's like,
awesome.
it's like hibernation time. I'm trying to take care of my family.
Yeah, I just put the kids to sleep, and now you just go and wake them up.
Yeah, it was a cute scene.
That was. Anyway.
So it's people are like, Yetis exist, and Michi's going around because she's just curious. She kind of symbolizes curiosity,
Mhm.
science, just thinking critically. And while the Stonekeeper father represents culture and protection.
Yeah.
So that stuff goes on, and she's in danger because, like, oh shoot, Yeti, people think danger, so
Yeah.
they try to kill her. All the three Yetis and Migo come down, and it's all about protecting her.
Yeah.
So there's an entire like running away scene, and they start heading back to the Himalayas. And there's this very interesting moment where this helicopter flies over them, and the Stonekeeper just throws all his stones at it, destroying it.
Yes.
Kind of, which played a moment of he knows he can't lie anymore,
Mhm.
and he knows that he can't protect his tribe in the same way. So he's shedding the past to create a new future.
Exactly.
Which plays an important thing in the credits, actually.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So that happens. Migo gets separated, and Percy finds him. Percy's like, I gotta set things right. He tranquilizes Migo and puts on the Yeti outfit. I'm glad they actually made the Yeti outfit important, like Chekhov's gun. Do you know that plot device?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if you have a gun on the wall, if you're gonna talk about it, you have to use it.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And Percy, basically, at the end's like, oh, it was me all along being the Yeti.
Yeah.
And
silly me.
Goes to prison. And for some reason, his crime is, not his crime, he has to do community service.
Yeah, to, like, fix the damage of the village, I guess.
Just him fixing an entire, like, city, town.
Yeah, which seems like a very light punishment for what, like, the crime he was committed of, but, that's whatever.
Like, he made buildings crumble.
Yeah.
Like, he would be charged, like, that's, like, not terrorism, but...
Destruction of property of, like, a high level, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know much about laws and all that.
We're not lawyers.
Yeah, we're not lawyers. We don't study that stuff. But, it's safe to assume that it would have had, like, a bigger sentence.
Yeah.
Than just, community service.
So, the Migo gets back with them, and the Stonekeeper's like, alright, I can't control this anymore. It's up to you guys whether we continue living here in the clouds or we show who we are, because people are going to be curious. So they stop the steam machine and head down, and you see a lot of like police officers, like everyone's like, oh my goodness, there's like not hundreds, like about 100 Yetis.
Yeah.
just walking down this mountain, and people are scared, and you see these police in like riot gear like hold up this line, and the Yetis are just standing there, and then you see Percy kind of run past and kind of shows like Yetis aren't dangerous.
Yeah, he basically stands with the Yetis.
Yeah, and the film ends on this very lighthearted where people start walking up to the Yetis, and then it's the credits, which show that there's new stones.
Yeah, like it shows literally the process of the stones being rewritten with the like new adventures and all that.
Yeah, it shows that the stones are so important, but instead of being like, oh, we forget our culture, it's let's use our culture in a better light.
Exactly.
Let's improve it. And it was a beautiful movie of just a lot of people tend to think of it like science versus religion.
Which, I mean, there are hints of that, but that's not what the movie's about in general.
There are hints, and I was definitely joking about that throughout the movie.
Oh yeah,
like,
totally.
Disney's making our children atheists.
Because that's what it seemed like at first.
But while it has elements of not necessarily atheism, but questioning, it's more about even though there may be language and cultural barriers, you should still help others of the difference and be nice to them.
Yeah.
Which was beautiful, and the way they done it was not without talking, but action. Like, words aren't going to do it. You have to show that you're actually trying to help others, that you wouldn't be kind to them.
Yeah. It's all about more like, different cultures and all that, and don't be afraid to question it if, like, it's worth questioning, I guess.
Yeah, like, you should question things, and you need evidence for your beliefs.
Yeah. But like, for good reason or anything.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, question religion because it's religion. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, just question just everything. It's more about if you're showing things that contradict your beliefs, question your beliefs and find out the truth.
Yeah. Exactly. And, like, don't be afraid to be curious and all that.
Yeah.
And to, like, just want to discover new things.
Yeah, like, if you're curious, ask questions, find out the truth. And if you meet different people, don't be rude to them, be nice.
Yeah.
Which is a beautiful message. So, after this movie, I'm like, I just need to see why this movie got like 66, which led to interesting reviews.
Oh, the reviews.
So, personally, I would give this movie 9 feet and 7 toes out of 10 feet. What would you give it?
I think I would say the same thing.
Because the beginning was a little slow, and the Under Pressure song sucked.
Yeah, like there was some
Just
stuff in it.
Sucked.
Yeah, the Under Pressure song was not needed.
Just sucked out of 10.
It really was bad. Like, I would chop off my own toes instead of listening to that song again. But, even though there's some parts that are, like, a bit goofy and maybe a bit unnecessary, it was overall still a really good film.
There's, like, an entire scene where Migo's just rolling down the cliff. I'm not a huge fan of slapsticky, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But it went on too long.
Yeah, it went on, like, a little bit too long. Like, after a while, it's just, like, it's not funny anymore. It's just kind of, you need to stop it.
And there's this one, Yeti or the Runt.
Yeah.
And he's used the comedic timing, but, like, the comedic relief, like, he's not really needed.
No.
He offers nothing, and...
Because the movie can be funny on its own. Without him,
he added nothing to the plot.
He really didn't. He was just kind of there and mainly annoying.
Yeah.
Like, shown as this terrible friend and all that.
He offered nothing to the plot. Brenda did because she was trying to,
show Percy, like,
hey, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be this way. We should be true.
Exactly, because she started going into that business because she used to watch Percy's shows about his love for animals, and that inspired her love of animals and wanting to do the same thing as a profession. And so whenever he drives away from that, she's like, well, what happened to the old Percy?
Yeah. That's some of my main problems with it. More than that, I would say because of the message was very powerful, and the climax once revealed the Stonekeeper knows of humans, that really was like, wow.
Yeah.
That instantly changed my view of the movie.
It did. Like, the reveal was the most powerful part in all that movie,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Because I was like on the edge of my seat, like, wait a minute. And when we were talking about it, I actually was listening to the song like over and over because I just loved it. And I realized they call them Smallfoots, and it makes sense if they're small.
Yeah.
And they look like us.
Yeah.
Like, we're both like on our feet. We're both. Yeah, they look the same. Obviously, they have hair, but yeah. But the Stonekeepers, like, they call themselves human.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. How would they know that?
Yeah, exactly.
So, so my reasons are either the Yetis knew that they call themselves humans, which means they would have to break past the language barrier, or the Stonekeeper met a human and learns their language.
Yeah, which I find like a very interesting theory.
I think that the Stonekeeper met a human, because during the entire I can't remember what the song was, but the reveal, that's what I call it.
Let It Lie.
Yeah, Let It Lie. A weird title.
Yeah.
But overall, it's still amazing. It's still just, it sounds personal that he was betrayed by a human, and he learned their language. So I like to believe that he met a human, and that's why he took this very personal thing to it.
Exactly, because like throughout the song, you can like hear the bitterness in his voice and all that.
Yeah.
It seems way more personal than just like I want to protect my village.
Yeah. Which, fantastic. So we're getting on to why people hate this movie.
Yeah, now that you've like heard our glowing comments about it, let's hear some of the not so glowing comments.
So,
Alright.
for some reason, let's see here. Wrong one. You wanna do the job? Thank you, buddy. There we go. So, oh shoot. What are you doing? No.
This is why we're recording.
I'm gonna keep that in. They can see my mistakes.
Okay.
So, 75 out of, and then 65. It's weird. Either it's loved, you hate it, or it's mediocre.
Yeah. There's no like middle ground.
Which is very strange, because lots of other movies, like, okay, I can see why it's like this. For some reason, OBS doesn't want to work. So let's pull up some reviews.
Yeah.
On our phones instead, because OBS hates us.
You can pull up reviews on like your site. I can pull up reviews on my site.
So there is one
IMDb.
that but yeah, it's weird that let's actually read what it says here. So yeah, for the consensus, Smallfoot offers a colorful distraction that should keep younger viewers entertained. The story's whose message might even resonate with older audiences. I can see this movie now resonating much with kids.
Yeah, because a lot of the themes that it shows, honestly, will go over like a kid's head.
Yeah, like a kid wouldn't really think much about someone else's culture because probably playing Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So
I'm already finding good ones from like last time.
oh, you have them?
Like just the ones that I read last time, yeah.
Alright.
Like mainly just the title of this one. That it's 3 out of 10 stars. It's on IMDb, and it's titled "Subversive Hollywood Liberalism Run Amok."
Please read it.
It's very short. It says warning spoilers, but all it says is a not so subtle knock on the 10 Commandments in the Bible.
That's not what it is. Like,
It's not.
they,
Like, it's not at all. I mean, yeah, it has hints of, like, religion and science and all that, but it's way more than just that.
there are religious, like, religion, not necessarily Christianity, but like religion versus Christianity
Yeah.
themes. But it seems like it really changed more into your beliefs versus facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine.
And, like, that's what most of these reviews are going to be about. It's just, like, saying that it's an attack on Christianity or, like, the Bible and all that, which it really isn't if you actually watch the movie.
Yeah, like, I don't see what's wrong with, hey guys, you know you believe things, you got your culture, but you shouldn't let your culture get in the way of how you treat others.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're faced with things that contradict what you believe, you should question it and find out the truth.
Yeah.
And for Percy was also like a little... I kind of liked how Percy and Migo, they actually had very... Their stories weren't the same.
Yeah.
They're showing different lights, and like, or in reverse. They had their own thing, which means you can do different things.
Yeah.
And with Percy, it's basically, hey, you shouldn't do things for fame, for greed. You should do it because you love it.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't, like, of course you can get rewards out of it, but you shouldn't lie to people in order for fame.
Yeah. So I went to, like, look at more reviews, but all I'm getting are just good ones. Like, I've seen way more good ones than I did last time when we actually checked the reviews.
Oh no.
Which, I mean, like, that's good. I'm glad that people like it.
But I want the bad ones.
I want the bad ones, yeah. We need to, like, just focus on the bad ones right now. Because
Yeah.
those are way more entertaining.
Like, yeah, please show us the bad ones. I can't remember which songs with other than like Let It Lie and Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm not a musical person. Like, I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of musicals. However, oh my goodness. And the first song, Under Pressure. Man, that was horrible.
The under pressure thing was totally not needed. And would have made the film even, like, way better without it in it. Like, there was no need for that.
Yeah.
It was just cringy. And I wanted to cover my ears.
Okay, so one of the things about the religion, like, it could be viewed as anti-religion, but it's not. And and one thing that's actually said, the daughter, Michi, among this group says, it's not about turning down old ideas, it's about finding new ones. Which I really like. We're not trying to, it's not talking about, it's trying to find new things.
Yeah. Alright, so I found one. I haven't read all of it yet because it is a paragraph and a half.
I'll mention one more thing. There's actually a line in Let It Lie, which is, what's true and not true is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting of, he's willing to lie if it's protect. Which is a very good villain, because it's someone you can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Whose motive makes complete sense.
It does, because all he's wanting to do is just protect his village and, like, his people and all that, which, that makes sense.
He's not shown in an evil light.
No.
Sure, he's intimidating. He can be a little scary, but it's not, he's evil. He's willing to go through many lengths if it means protecting his tribe.
Exactly. Which, you can, like, understand and respect.
Is that the,
Yeah. So, it's, like, on IMDb, 1 out of 10 stars, and it's titled Heavy-Handed Political Attack on Christianity. A lot of these are just going to be, like, reviews that I read to you guys, like, last time when we watched it, but...
Review, Smallfoot is woke. Smallfoot's woke. It's woke, Tabitha. It's woke. Woke me up, yeah. What's so funny? Are you laughing at wokeness?
I don't know why that tickled me so much. Smallfoot is woke. I mean, that's one way to describe it. Alright, so here's the review that's a paragraph and a half. I saw the previews and expected a humorous rip on old story, much like Monsters Inc. Instead, I got a blanket attack on Christianity and traditional values. I'm not exaggerating. The bad guy in the movie is spiritual leader for the Yeti village who has a staff with God carved on it backwards, and who keeps the law and story of creation written on stones, aka the Bible. And the entire movie is spent on tearing the stones down until they are all thrown away at the end of the movie. The message of the film is question everything, but it presents no answers. Not true. It presents the spiritual leader as a liar in a super persistent society, who believe all the stones are wrong and have strange symbols, including a simple upside-down 5-pointed star carved on their cave wall. It's presented as the heroes. Oh, and if that wasn't weird enough subject matter for a kid's film, it veers into liberal political preaching, saying that the Yetis were the first and that the humans tried to commit genocide on them, and having their first contact with a human being with an orange-haired reality TV star. Oh, and the police are the bad guys, shooting Yetis without remorse, and the film ending as them standing in a line with riot shields against the Yetis. It is a humorless, overwhelmed, depressing, subversive, devious piece of brainwashing propaganda aimed at kids duped while they're too young to resist.
They're woke.
Movie critics trash Christian films for being too preachy, and praise this for having a good message for kids. I was very disappointed that this is the world my kids are going to grow up in, where anti-God, anti-authority adults try to trick them by dressing their message in a slick animated Yeti suit. Terrible movie.
That's wrong on so many levels.
There are so many things that are just wrong in that whole paragraph. More like essay, Jesus Christ.
For example, Percy is not Trump like what they're saying. Percy is someone who wants fame and who forgot why he got into the business.
Yeah, which can make sense because, you know, a lot of times these days, stuff is mainly just like you care about the ratings and like how many people are watching and all that.
Yeah, it's not about doing things you love just for the sake of doing why you love it.
Yeah, you gotta like make it so where people can watch it and will be interested in it, or else you're not gonna succeed.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with, hey, I want to make this interesting for people.
Yeah.
But it's saying stay true, like make sure you have integrity when you do it, which I don't think is wrong. Especially because he's trying to show nature, and nature is something I believe you should take in a very. If you're gonna show animals, show the animals how they really are.
Yeah, exactly. Not in a way to make them exciting.
And if you're basically Steve Irwin, don't lie.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Steve Irwin was like, hey guys, here's the jackalope.
Yeah.
Here's
Like
Mothman.
Just stick Steve Irwin's face on Percy, and that's what you got.
Yeah. Like, hey guys, my name's Steve Irwin. And I'm gonna show you guys Mothman.
Yeah. That's basically it.
What other? I'm trying to think of other cryptids. Because I mean, that's what a Yeti is. It's a cryptid.
It is. It is.
So it's saying, don't lie to people like their job is meant to show the truth.
Yeah. Or like meant to kind of like show the truth, present facts and all that. Basically, what animal documentaries are. Like, don't lie about that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't try to make it interesting. Just present it as it is.
I mean, yeah, you can make it interesting, but don't lie.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen Planet Earth? Those documentary series are freaking interesting as heck, and all they say is just facts about animals.
And they show you what it is.
Yeah.
So, Percy's not Donald Trump.
It's like the whole freaking propaganda stuff that the
Propaganda.
Hang on, let me see what was the exact wording.
Another thing is about the tearing down the Bible. They still keep true to their religion in the sense of whenever they're faced with new facts, you should adapt the truth. You should adapt your beliefs to what is true.
Yeah.
But they still keep their culture.
Exactly, because you see at the credits, which I didn't realize until you pointed out, whenever we first watched it, that like they're basically rewriting the stones. They don't just throw them away and then go on with their lives. They rewrite them. They still keep the stones in their culture.
Yeah, the stones are so like I love. By the way, I love the entire aesthetic of the stones
Oh yes.
because it's a new take. It makes their beliefs tangible. It makes it feel realistic. It's like it. It makes holding a belief seem possible now.
Yeah.
Like books, I can understand that to a certain extent, but now that's the idea of a stone. Like imagine your belief painted onto a stone. That makes it way more personal.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever he sheds the stones, he does it to protect his people. But they're not like, okay, buy stones. No, in the credits when you watch it, you see these stones like appear on the screen showing, no, they're still, they still have their culture.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not saying get rid of your culture. It's saying adapt to new facts. And your culture can change, which I don't think is wrong.
Yeah. Well, and they say it's like an attack on Christianity in general. It's like, if you believe that, then it's an attack on all religion, which it's not.
Yeah, there's nothing Christian about it.
There's not. It's just like there's religious aspects in general, not specifically on Christianity. Not everything's about the Christians.
And
You little
yeah, it's not an attack on Christianity. It's an attack on believing things without when you're presented with evidence
that it's not true. Yeah.
Like whenever the Smallfoot's presented, it's like, oh, it's this. It's like he's not. It's seen as they're too stubborn to accept the facts.
Yeah.
Like.
Just and like that's what most of the reviews are saying, that it's an attack on Christianity and that they're mad about it. It's like, it's not an attack on Christianity.
Like
it's not.
For example, I know like a lot like of the modern Christians take the Bible more figuratively.
Yeah.
And whenever they think of creation, they think it's like, no, it's not evolution.
Yeah.
Despite my views on religion, I find that like, hey, they're adapting to evidence.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not a bad thing.
They actually never even say anything. Okay, they believe that the world was pooped out of a yak. Very goofy.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
I was wondering if you were ever gonna mention that.
And there's a character like, oh, well, then how did the world come? Was it a yak? And he's asking questions, and he goes like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We just need to find more evidence. We need to find more facts.
Yeah, exactly.
So the message of the film is you should look at the facts before coming to a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And even if people are of a different culture, and you should still treat them with respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how that can be taken as evil.
I don't either, because it's like an actual sweet, good message. And some of these people are trying to spin it in such a bad light. It's like, that's not what it's about.
No, Tabitha, you shouldn't respect people who are different.
Oh, clearly not.
No.
That's... Those darn Americans is what they believe.
It's still... I don't understand how anyone can see Percy as Trump. They're literally... There's nothing other than orange hair and TV star. There's nothing about them that's alike.
Don't know.
Trump's a politician.
He doesn't go around looking for Yetis.
Hey guys,
although I wish he would.
That'd be hilarious. It's like imagine like a politician or like any president just like going around like, hey guys, we're out here in the Himalayas.
Dude, I would love that. I would totally support a president that does that. Like, if they're freaking going all Steve Irwin on us, I would tune in. I don't give a crap what their president sees.
Ted Cruz, because now he has the beard, playing in movies. Like, I'd watch those movies. He looks like a supervillain.
He really does. Like, with his new facial hair, he looks like a villain. And I think it would be really cool to see him in movies if he actually could act.
Literally, I can imagine, like, a scar down the eye. And
oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
totally.
I can hear like that kind of like stereotypical like villain voice.
Dude, I would love that. Like, that's a way to just gain my respect as a politician. Just do silly stuff like that, and I'd be happy.
Imagine a politician with a gaming channel.
One thing, oh, I was watching this video, this like gaming video, and they were basically saying that it's like, presidents in like a couple years time, they're gonna be like, they're doing memes right now. Like, they're gonna be gaming and all that. We're gonna have a president in years time that like games and all that. So I can just totally see a president having a gaming channel.
But
I would love that.
here's the thing, though. In the future, they're going to go and think about the old games and not the new ones.
That's true.
I remember, like, Mario, like, who knows what will be, like, the Mario of the youth in, like, 2060.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Like, they're gonna be freaking selling Wii's as vintage consoles in like freaking 2060 or something like that.
2060, get your Wii!
It's just like it's vintage, and we're like, what the frick?
I mean, I wish they did that with the GameCube. Like, hey guys, get the GameCube.
Oh man, I miss the GameCube.
I had a Dreamcast. Off topic.
Yeah, we're getting off topic here.
But yeah.
Anyway, Smallfoot.
Great movie.
Great movie.
I would put that villain. If I were to make a list of like top 10 villains, I would put him at maybe 6.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, he felt like a really interesting one.
He did. He was a very realistic villain, and the way his character was really interesting.
You can even argue that he's not the villain.
Yeah.
That the villain is more of an idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that he's not the villain himself. I mean, he's the antagonist, but he's not really a villain. Because what he's doing is actually kind of justified, and that he's trying to protect his village. Because it's shown in the past that, like, they get hurt.
Highly recommend the movie.
Definitely. It is extremely good, I think. Definitely go check it out. And plus, the animation in it is absolutely gorgeous.
Is it? I forgot the animation. It really is gorgeous. Like, the moment they go to like the Chinatown, it's amazing. I noticed the Yetis don't have noses.
Yeah. And they even mentioned that, I think, is that they don't have noses.
I don't remember that.
I think they mentioned that, or at least, like, hints at it. I don't know. But yeah, like, the animation and the art in it is absolutely beautiful. Especially, I know we keep talking about this, but the Let It Lie scene, like the reveal scene, that's when it really shows, like, the animation and all that being, like, at its best.
Yeah.
So I definitely, if nothing else, go watch it for the art.
Yeah. Like, for example, Michi looks beautiful. Like, I love how she looks in the film. Not Migo, Stonekeeper. Like, Stonekeeper Michi, I just love how they animated them.
Oh, totally, yes.
Like, even whenever Michi, like, walks, the hair moves along with her.
Oh, yeah. Also, another thing about Michi is that, like, she is basically the, quote, love interest of Migo, but it's not a heavy part in it. Like, it's more like a side thing. Because, like, they obviously have romantic feelings for each other, but it's not really touched upon or, like, given a whole lot of attention with.
The closest it's shown to is they give a hug, and Stonekeeper and Lelai, like, mentions Michi. And I like how they don't, like, romance subplots pretty much suck.
Yeah.
They're
overdone.
They offer nothing to the plot, normally. In this one, it wasn't... She represented something.
Yeah.
She represented curiosity.
Yeah, like, she was actually an important part to the movie.
Yeah. So, whenever you're watching, while he does have feelings for her, the closest they get, sort of the romance, is at the end, he has like, an arm wrapped around her.
Yeah, like, it shows that they, like, most likely got together at the end of the movie. But again, that's not, like, a big deal or anything. It's just kind of, like, shown kind of as a background.
It's there. The main focus is that she's curiosity, and that's the role she plays. She has a very childlike curiosity, which is fantastic. She actually plays an important role in the movie.
Instead of just being the love interest, which I wish more movies would do, because while freaking romance is cool and all, it's overdone to the point where it's annoying, and it has to be in every movie.
Yeah, like a lot of movies like don't make sense to the romance. In rare times they get it right. For example, despite some like problems with Incredibles 2, Violet has a crush on the boy. The boy isn't the main focus. It's
No.
being normal is what he represents. He represents being a normal teenage girl.
Yeah. And like just being able to do normal teenage stuff.
And yeah, the entire plot point of that character is he represents having a normal life, just being a normal teenager.
Yeah.
One of the few times romance in the movie's been done right.
Yeah, speaking of Incredibles 2, we may do like a whole nother review on that
Oh,
because
yeah.
we actually had an hour-long conversation on why we didn't like Incredibles 2.
That movie.
That's a thing for another time.
Yeah. You can see that 6 months down the line.
Yep.
Goodbye.